I had a secret crush on my best friend for years, but he always dated other women. One night, after too many drinks, he looked at me and said, "Why didn't you ever tell me?" I laughed it off, thinking it meant nothing, until the next morning, when I woke up to a text that read, "Last night changed everything. We need to talk." What he said next left me stunned. Let me tell you something about heartbreak. It doesn't always come loud and messy. Sometimes it's quiet. Sometimes it's a sentence that sticks in your head and replays until it rots something inside you. That sentence for me was, "I don't love you like that, but love fades anyway." I'm from Austin, Texas. Been here my whole life. It's hot, busy, and full of memories I wish I could erase. I work at a marketing agency, nothing fancy, just a regular job. Pays the bills. I've always kept to myself, didn't date much, didn't go out unless it was with Scott. Scott. Where do I even start? We met our freshman year at UT Austin. He was loud, funny, everybody liked him. I was quiet, stayed in the back, watched more than I talked. But he noticed me. For some reason, he stuck around. We became best friends. That kind of bond that feels permanent. Like family, almost. Except I wasn't family. I was in love with him. For 10 years. He never knew. Or maybe he did and just pretended not to. I watched him go through relationship after relationship. Girls who broke his heart. Girls he treated like garbage. And every time, he'd come back to me. Cry on my shoulder. Get drunk and ask why nothing ever lasted. He'd always say, "You're the only one who gets me." I used to think that meant something. That maybe one day, he'd look at me and realize I was the one. That day never came. Until, maybe it did. It was late July. Hot as hell outside. Scott had just gotten promoted to some management position at his company. He wanted to celebrate. Just us. So we went to our usual dive bar, sat in the corner booth, and drank like we were 21 again. We started reminiscing. College, stupid memories, people we don't talk to anymore. He got quiet at one point. Just stared at me with this strange look on his face. Like he was seeing me for the first time. Then he said it. "Why didn't you ever tell me?" I played dumb. "Tell you what? That you were in love with me." I laughed. "I had to." "Scott, come on. Don't be an ass." "I'm serious," he said. "I always wondered. You're the one who never left." I shrugged it off, like always. Changed the subject. He didn't push it. We kept drinking. I figured he was just drunk and fishing for compliments. I went home feeling weird. Like something was shifting under my feet. I stayed up half the night replaying that conversation in my head. And then came the text. "Last night changed everything. We need to talk." I didn't even finish my coffee before calling him. My heart was in my throat. I thought, maybe this was it. Maybe he'd finally figured it out. He answered on the second ring. "Hey," he said, voice quiet. "What's going on?" I asked. "I've been thinking," he said. "A lot." I didn't say anything, just waited. "You've always been there for me," he continued. "Through everything. I think we should be together." I sat up straighter. "What are you saying?" "I want to settle down. And honestly, you'd make a great wife. We already know each other. We wouldn't have to pretend or go through all that awkward dating crap. It just makes sense." My stomach dropped. It didn't sound like love. It sounded like a job offer. "You don't love me," I said. "Love fades," he said. "But loyalty doesn't. You're the most loyal person I know. That's what matters." I was quiet. Too quiet. He took that as hesitation, not offense. "You'll think about it?" he asked. I said, "Yeah, I'll think about it." Then I hung up. And I sat there on my couch, shaking. He didn't want me. He wanted a retirement plan, a backup, a woman who'd always pick up the pieces, someone who wouldn't leave. And he thought I'd say yes. That's when everything changed. He didn't know it yet, but that was the day I decided to destroy the version of me he thought he had. He wanted loyalty? He was about to see what betrayal really looked like. I didn't text him back that day. Or the next. He sent a few check-ins. You okay? Still thinking. But I ignored them. I needed time. Not to think about being with him, but to figure out how I was going to tear this whole thing down. He thought I was safe. That I'd always be there, waiting like a light left on in the hallway. That's what made it easy for him to underestimate me. A week passed. I kept my usual routine. Went to work. Smiled at people. But under all that, I was building something. I started talking to people. Friends we hadn't seen in years. Exes of his, women he hurt or ghosted. And they all had something to say. Some were bitter, some had moved on, but a few were still angry enough to talk. One of them, Casey, had dated him for 6 months 2 years ago. I remembered her because she was the only one who didn't go quietly. She posted cryptic stuff on Instagram after the breakup. I figured he'd cheated. I never asked. Now I did. We met for coffee. I told her everything, how he came to me, what he said, what he wanted. She laughed. Hard. Oh my God, she said. He's still doing that? Doing what? Making women feel like they're lucky to be an option. Then she told me the real reason they broke up. He didn't cheat, not exactly. He slept with her roommate. Said it meant nothing. Then, when she cried, he told her, "You're being dramatic. We're not married." She showed me texts. Receipts. He was cold. Cruel, even. I felt something click inside me. This wasn't just about what he did to me. This was about a pattern. A habit. He used people. Took their love, their patience, their loyalty. And spat it out when he got bored. So I made a plan. The first part was simple. I told him I was in. I said yes. He was thrilled. Called me babe for the first time in his life. Said he knew I'd come around. That he was already looking at rings. That part made me sick. But I smiled. I played along. We started seeing each other, officially. He told everyone we were dating. Our friends were surprised, but not shocked. Everyone always joked we were basically married anyway. He leaned into that narrative hard. While he was busy playing house, I was collecting. I went through old emails, photos, texts, everything he ever sent me. I found messages from when he was dating other women, telling me how crazy they were, how he wished he could just date someone like me. He'd say, "Don't ever be like them." And I'd laugh. Now I saw it for what it was, conditioning. Keeping me close, but just out of reach. I met up with 2 more of his exes. One of them told me he'd borrowed $3,000 from her when his car broke down. Promised to pay her back. Never did. She never even told anyone. She was embarrassed. I asked her if she still had the messages. She did. And then I asked her if she wanted in. She said yes. I wasn't just going to leave him. I was going to expose every lie, every secret, every time he twisted the truth to get what he wanted. I was going to pull the curtain back and let him see what it felt like to be powerless. I wasn't angry anymore. I was focused. And soon he would feel it. I waited another 3 weeks. Long enough for him to get comfortable. Long enough for him to start calling me the one to his friends. He even brought up moving in together. Said we should just do it. We're not kids anymore. I played along. Smiled. Kissed him. Let him plan our life on lies. All while I laid bricks for mine. See, I wasn't just gathering dirt. I was building something, a file. Screenshots, text logs, emails. Testimonies from women he'd lied to, cheated on, used, and ghosted. Casey helped me organize it all. So did the girl he owed money to, Danielle. Another woman, Carla, said he'd told her he didn't believe in labels while he was sleeping with 2 of her friends. By the time I was done, I had a 47-page PDF. But I wasn't ready to drop it. Not yet. Because then something unexpected happened. I found out he was still seeing someone else. Not seeing like dating. Seeing like screwing. Her name was Zoe. She was 24. Young, pretty, worked at a gym near his apartment. She had no idea about me. No idea we were official. She thought he was just taking things slow. When I found her Instagram, my hands went cold. He had commented on one of her posts that week. A heart emoji. I messaged her, told her the truth, sent her screenshots. At first, she didn't believe me. Said I sounded bitter. That Scott wasn't like that. So I sent her the PDF. The whole thing. She didn't reply right away. But she read it. Every page. 2 days later, she called me, crying. I feel so stupid, she said. He told me I was the first person he really connected with. Said his ex was manipulative and clingy. Let me guess, I said. That ex was me? She was silent. I told her she didn't have to do anything, that I was handling it. But she asked if she could help. Said she wanted to do something, anything, to make him pay. So I told her what I needed. I had a plan, but I wanted it to hit harder. And Zoe? She had the perfect way in. Scott had been bragging to her about a weekend trip he was planning for me. Some Airbnb in the Texas Hill Country. He said he was going to make it official, marriage talk, maybe even a proposal. He wanted it to be a surprise. Oh, it would be. We waited. I acted excited when he told me. Said it sounded romantic. He smiled, smug, like he owned the world. Like I was already his. Like I was lucky to be chosen. He had no clue. The day before we left, I printed 2 copies of the PDF. Put one in my bag. Gave the other to Zoe. And then, the night before we were set to drive out there, Zoe posted a picture. Just her, smiling, in front of his apartment building. Caption: date night, smiling face with hearts, can't believe I finally met someone real. He didn't see it. I made sure of that. But a lot of other people did. Mutual friends, coworkers, people who had just congratulated us on finally making it official. My phone lit up with messages. Is Scott cheating on you? Who's that girl? Are you okay? I ignored them all. Because the real explosion was still coming. The next morning, we left for the trip. He picked me up in his truck, all smiles, cooler in the back, music low. I stared out the window most of the drive, pretending to be tired. He didn't notice. He was too busy talking about how right everything felt, how glad he was we finally crossed that line. I always knew it'd be you, he said. It just took me time to see it. Liar. The Airbnb was one of those fancy cabins out near Fredericksburg. Big porch, fireplace, views of the hills. We got there by noon. He poured wine, cooked steaks on the grill, made it all look like a damn commercial. By evening, he lit a fire, sat next to me on the porch swing, and said, I got something to ask you. I turned toward him, but before he could speak, I reached into my bag and handed him the PDF. He looked confused. What's this? Everything, I said. He flipped through the first few pages. I watched his face shift, confused, then nervous, then pale. What the hell is this? He asked. It's what you are, Scott. A liar. A user. A man who thinks women are just waiting rooms until you feel like settling down. He stood up. You went through my messages? No. I talked to them. All of them. Every girl you lied to. Every woman you used. You told me I was your safe bet? Like I'm some house you're buying in your 30s because you're tired of partying? Screw you. Wait, listen. Zoe saw it too, I said. She knows. She's the one who gave me the photo. The one that's all over your coworkers' feeds right now. His mouth dropped. You're kidding. Not even a little. They know. Everyone knows. He grabbed the folder, flipped through more pages. This is insane. You're insane. I laughed. No. I'm finally sane. For the first time in 10 years. He stormed inside. I followed. He started packing his bag. Said something about how I'd ruined everything, how he was trying to be a better man. You don't get to act like the victim, I said. You told me love fades. You treated women like placeholders. You thought I was one too. You could have just said no, he shouted. I did. This was the real answer. I didn't stay the night. I left him there with his lies and the thick, humid air pressing down on his pride. I drove back to Austin in silence. That weekend, the PDF made the rounds. A few of his exes shared it. No names, just stories. Stories that sounded real, because they were. Women started messaging each other. A few tagged him in vague posts. The damage was done. He called. I didn't answer. Texted. I blocked him. But here's the part that still stings. Even after everything, I waited too long. I waited years for someone who never saw me. I wasted love on a man who only wanted comfort. I became the thing he needed right when I should have walked away. That was my mistake. But I fixed it. He wanted loyalty. I gave him a mirror. He wanted a wife. I gave him a warning. Never assume the quiet ones will stay quiet forever. And never make someone your backup plan. Because one day, they might just rewrite the whole damn script. And you'll be left standing in the ashes, wondering how it all burned down so fast.